I've always been fascinated by the idea of making money work for you. Passive income is the dream, right? We talk a lot on this channel about stocks, crypto, and real estate, but there's another world out there, a huge, fast-paced world called Forex. Forex is short for foreign exchange. It's where people trade currencies like the US dollar for the euro. I've mostly stayed away from it. It always seemed complex and risky. It felt like something only big banks or genius traders could do successfully. But then I kept hearing about something called copy trading. The idea sounded almost too good to be true. So what is copy trading? Imagine you could look over the shoulder of a professional trader. You could see every move they make. When they buy, you buy. When they sell, you sell. That's copy trading in a nutshell. You use a special platform that lets you automatically copy the trades of experienced investors. You choose a trader you trust, you decide how much money to invest, and the platform does the rest. It mirrors their trades in your own account. It's like having a seasoned professional manage a part of your portfolio, without the high fees of a traditional fund manager. The goal is simple: leverage their expertise to hopefully make a profit. My goal for this 30-day challenge was clear. I wanted to see if a complete beginner could actually make money with this method. Is it a legitimate way to grow your capital, or just another online gimmick? I set aside a starting capital of $1,000. I told myself this was money I was willing to lose, which is super important for any high-risk investment. I wanted to document everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I aimed to be completely transparent about the results. Could this be a new stream of passive income? I was both skeptical and excited to find out. This experiment was all about answering that one big question for myself and for all of you watching. To make things interesting, I decided to treat this like a real scientific experiment. I would set clear rules for myself and stick to them. I wasn't going to get emotional and change my strategy halfway through. I would track my progress every single day. I'd record the numbers, the feelings, and the lessons learned along the way. This wasn't just about the final profit or loss. It was about the journey. It was about understanding the risks, learning the process, and seeing if copy trading is a viable tool for the average person. So, with my $1,000 ready to go, I dove headfirst into the world of Forex copy trading. The 30-day clock started ticking. Choosing the right trader to copy is the most important step. It's like picking a pilot for your plane. You want someone with a great track record, not a reckless rookie. So, I spent a lot of time on the platform just looking at different trader profiles. The platform gives you so much data, it can be overwhelming at first. You can see their past performance, their risk score, how many people are copying them, and how long they have been trading. It's like a social media profile, but for investors. My first rule was to avoid anyone who promised insane, unrealistic returns. Slow and steady wins the race, right? I developed a simple checklist for picking my traders. First, I looked for consistency. I wanted traders who had been profitable for at least 1 year. A few good months could just be luck, but a year of positive returns shows skill and a solid strategy. Second, I checked their risk score. Most platforms rate traders on a scale, usually from 1 to 10. I decided to only copy traders with a risk score of 5 or lower. I was not looking for a lottery ticket, I was looking for a calculated investment. High risk can mean high reward, but it can also mean losing all your money very, very quickly. I wanted to sleep at night. Another key factor was the number of other people copying them. This is what they call social proof. If thousands of other people are trusting a trader with their money, it's a good sign. It doesn't guarantee success, but it shows that the community has confidence in their abilities. I also read the comments and reviews on their profiles. People share their experiences, both good and bad. This gave me a better sense of the trader's style and communication. I decided to diversify my investment by choosing 3 different traders. I allocated my $1,000 equally among them, putting about $333 into copying each one. This way, if one trader had a bad week, the others might balance it out. Finally, I looked at their trading history in detail. I wanted to understand how they made their money. Did they have a few huge wins that skewed their results? Or did they have a lot of small, consistent wins? I preferred the second type. I also looked at their maximum drawdown. This number tells you the biggest loss they have ever experienced from a peak. A lower drawdown suggests they manage their risk well and don't let losses get out of control. After a full day of research, I made my picks. I chose a conservative trader from Germany, a balanced one from the UK, and a slightly more aggressive one from Singapore. My team was set, the experiment was officially underway. The first week was an absolute thrill. I was checking my phone constantly, probably more than I should have. Every notification from the trading app gave me a small jolt of excitement or anxiety. My 3 traders started making moves almost immediately. I saw small trades opening and closing, some with tiny profits, some with tiny losses. It was fascinating to watch it all happen automatically. By the end of the first week, I was actually in the green. My account was up by about $45. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was a 4.5% return in just 7 days. I was ecstatic. I thought to myself, this is easy, why doesn't everyone do this? I was already calculating my potential annual returns. Week 2 was a reality check. The market is a fickle beast, and it decided to humble me. One of my traders, the slightly more aggressive one from Singapore, hit a rough patch. He had a few trades that went against him and he kept them open, hoping the market would turn around. This is a common strategy, but it's stressful to watch. My antsy fingers wanted to intervene and close the trades manually, but I had promised myself I would stick to the plan. I had to trust the expert. My overall profit from week 1 was wiped out, and I was now sitting at a small loss of about $20. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it was a crucial lesson in emotional discipline. Week 3 was a period of slow recovery. There were no big dramatic wins, just a steady grind. My conservative German trader was living up to his reputation, closing many small, profitable trades day after day. He was like a machine. The UK trader also had a solid week, helping to offset the floating losses from the Singaporean trader. I learned to stop checking my phone every 5 minutes. I started to trust the process more and let the traders do their jobs. By the end of the 3rd week, my account was back in positive territory, sitting at a profit of around $60. The emotional roller coaster was starting to level out, and I was learning to appreciate the long game. The final week of the challenge was the most volatile. The markets were reacting to some global news and things were moving fast. My Singaporean trader finally closed his losing trades, taking a realized loss, but then he caught a big wave and made a series of very profitable trades that more than made up for it. It was a testament to his experience. He waited for the right moment. My other 2 traders continued their steady performance. Watching the final numbers roll in was incredibly satisfying. The last few days saw a nice jump in my account balance. The 30-day journey was coming to an end, and I was eager to tally up the final results. So after 30 days of ups, downs, and a lot of screen time, what were the final results? Drumroll please. My starting capital was $1,000. At the end of the 30-day challenge, my final account balance was $1,115. That is a net profit of $115. This represents an 11.5% return on my investment in just 1 month. To put that into perspective, the average annual return of the S&P 500 is around 10%. I made more than that in a single month. Now this is not a guarantee. These results are exceptional, and I could have easily lost money. But for this specific 30-day period, the experiment was a definite success. The most important thing I learned is that mindset is everything. Copy trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires patience, research, and emotional control. It was so tempting to meddle with the trades, especially during week 2 when my account was down, but trusting the experts I had chosen was the key. I also learned the power of diversification. Spreading my capital across 3 different traders with different styles helped to smooth out the returns and reduce my overall risk. If I had put all my money on just one trader, my experience could have been very different, for better or for worse. It's a classic investing principle that holds true here as well. Would I recommend copy trading? It's a complicated yes. I would recommend it to people who understand the risks involved. You have to be prepared to lose some or all of your investment. It's not for your emergency fund or retirement savings. However, for those with some risk capital who are looking for a hands-off way to get exposure to the Forex market, it can be a powerful tool. The key is to do your homework. Spend time choosing your traders carefully, understand their strategy, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. It's an active form of passive income, meaning it requires significant setup and monitoring. So, what's next for me? I plan to keep my copy trading account running. I'm going to stick with my chosen traders and see how they perform over a longer period, maybe a full year. This 30-day challenge was a fascinating and profitable experience. It opened my eyes to a new way of investing. If you're interested in learning more about how to spot market opportunities yourself, I run a private Forex signal channel where I share my own trade ideas and analysis. It's a great way to learn directly from me. If you want to join the community, check out the link in the description below. Thank you for following along on this journey.